Hi, all of you. This is August 20th, 2024. The 20th, yep. 2024. So today, we're gonna go to Circuit City or one of the other stores in 2001 today. Or maybe 97, I don't know, let's check. We're gonna explore one of these ads. Maybe I'll probably just do 97. I'll go to 1997, Circuit City. Well, I saved these. I only saved a handful of 97s, but that's it for the 90s decade. But sadly, I didn't save any for 99 or 98 or the year 2000. It's only from 2001 all the way to about 2022, and I stopped doing these back in 2022. So let's take a look at what Circuit City had during this time. It's a bit bright out here, so I'm gonna go put it. So yeah, let's look at. I don't know if I put a video like this before, but this is 1997. So they remember, see, they didn't have any flat panel TVs back in the day. Remember this? But CD stereos were like a big thing back then, you know. And then VCRs was a big thing. See, these were the days when Circuit City or these electronic stores they were fun to go to, you know, back in the day. They're the fun days, you know. Because we would see all kinds of interesting things in there. But look at this, you know, $1,500 for this RCA package, I guess. VCRs. And then VCRs and stuff. Yeah, TVs. Remember the TVs and stuff? These were pretty popular, you know, like the built-in VCRs and stuff. And then the DVD player had just barely came out. Look at the prices of these things, man. Yeah. and then of course they had a lot of receivers. And I think they probably did and then man, look at the prices of some of these things. And then CD players. Look at the CD player. That's funny, man. Cost $100 and $200. Cassette decks. Remember, we would go to the Circuit City to buy components for the stereo equipment and stuff. And remember these things? Remember we used to buy these component systems? Yeah, remember that? And then these shelfer systems too. JVC, this is 97. Magnavox, Kenwood. Yeah, these are shelfer systems. Infinity, huh? And then, you know, well, they actually used to do. Yeah, the home theater stuff. And then remember these big screen TVs, you know, like, well, they were not flat panels. But, you know, TVs, like, this is what we had for TVs. And they had a lot of different choices back then, too. And but look at the price of these TVs. And they were TVs. They were like tube TVs. They weren't, none of these were flat panel TVs back then. In 97, we didn't have that. They didn't first come up with the flat panel TVs until 2001. Yeah, not until 2001 they came up with those, you know, like. And there's a 97, so yeah. See, remember these entertainment centers? Remember these? Remember this was it back then? Remember it was like the big thing back then? Yeah, I think the furniture right here was $1,000 here. And then that was a browser. And now the computers. I think I may have showed a video of before. This is a computer for you. Packard Bell. And then these are the specifications. And here's another one right here, $1,800, you know. This is only 2 years after Arnold bought his first computer for like $3,000. And then apparently 2 years later, these computers are tons of times better than the one that Arnold bought for $3,000 back in the day. And here's another one, Sony. It's a more expensive one. Monitor sold separately. God dang. Monitor. I thought it was for everything, man. The price there, I thought it was for everything. Shit, dead wrong I was. Monitor was sold separately, and those monitors used to cost like $500 if I remember. So this is what these computers offered. And there was $2,400, and that was just for the tower and the keyboard only. Yeah. And then these are the programs, I guess. Or software games and stuff. More accessories for the computer. And then look at the printers. Look how much they were back then. $200, $300, $250. Look at the things that they had, you know. And the cheapest one was $150, you know. So as you see it right here, if you wanted a really good system, that's a minimum of $2,000, you know, like, and that's buying this one and then buying the monitor and a printer. That's $2,000 for this already. I mean, if you want a complete system. So let's see. More of them. Oh, they had a Macintosh. I didn't know that they did an Apple back then. Well, I guess. I mean, this is a Macintosh. I wonder if the monitor was included. Oh, no, separately. And then there's the specifications here. You know, yeah, it's funny. Like RAM, 32 megabytes. It's not gigabytes now. It's all megabytes, not gigabytes. And here's another one, $15.99, and the monitor is sold separately too. That's kind of funny on how they did that. 32 megabytes, not gigabytes, not gigabytes. And then the 4 gigabytes of hard drive space. That's funny, man. And then, here's the monitors here. See, look how much the monitors were back then. God dang. And they're not flat panel monitors either. They weren't flat panels either. 15-inch, $349. That cheapest one is $300, man. Damn. Shit. Now look at my favorite items here. Camcorders. See, these are the camcorders back then, you know. $6.99, and it was for an 8mm. It's like something not even really all that nice either. I mean, and they had $5.99 ones and $6.99 for the VHS-Cs. This is 1997, and this is like the one that I had. It's similar to the one that I had. $349, and that was a nice deal at the time. That was considered a nice deal for a camcorder like this back then. Another VHS-C. That's when they started doing color viewfinders and stuff. VHS-Cs, and then accessories for the camcorders, batteries. And then what's this? Oh, the transmitter for the camcorder that had laser link. It's kind of like a device that you put on your TV so you can have Bluetooth. It's kind of like a Bluetooth, wirelessly connecting to the TV. That's what this was for, and it was only for camcorders that were capable of that. You know, it was particularly Sony camcorders that had that feature, but a Sony camcorder that had the wireless feature, that was expensive to have that. More. Okay, and then this is like the refrigerators and well, they used to do refrigerators there too. Well, they do them right now. Right now. So washers. Yeah, well, I guess washers. I mean, and then ranges. Microwaves for like over the top or over the range microwaves. Dishwashers. And now car stereos. $269. Well, CD players, they were like big back then, you know. Over here, remember like the multi-disc changers, like where you'd put the changers on the back of the car. Remember that? Remember these things? And you got 10 free CDs. Wow. Back in the day, CDs was a big thing back then, you know. To get a CD deck, that was a big thing back. You know, I had a stereo like this. I had a stereo like this one time. It was a nice stereo too. I mean, I had that stereo. It worked really good, man. It sounded so good. And I mean, yeah, I had that stereo. I mean, it was a really nice one too. I mean, it was a cassette player. I mean, yeah. But this set was almost $500. And then if you wanted like speakers and stuff like that, and then more head units, car stereos, you know, the CD players was like a big thing back then, you know. People were like going on to CD players, you know, like, but I had a cassette player. And then this one is what's in a laser radar detector. So yeah, amplifier. Remember, everybody used to do amplifier. And then remember these Walkmans. And then these are some of the more Walkmans. They're kind of still in back then, you know, like, well, yeah, especially the CD Walkmans. You know, that was pretty popular back then, you know. CDs was a big thing back then, you know, I tell you. So yeah, I think that was it, but it's still, this is it, okay. And then over here, well, the home phones, answering machine. Yeah, remember those? And then now look at the cell phones. But, you know, cell phones were actually, believe it or not, they were actually pretty reasonably priced back then because they wanted you to join a contract. That's why, you know. Yeah, because they wanted you to join a contract and shit, you know, that's why. Yeah. But if I remember, if you were going to buy the phone outright, they used to be like $200. You used to be able to buy these phones outright for like $200 or $300. You know, like if I remember this. Well, I don't know. Maybe I think it was around $200 or $300 if you wanted to buy these outright back in the day. It's not like today. You know, it's not like today, like where a typical phone is gonna cost $1,500 these days. You know, like, or like the cheapest phone you can buy. Well, you could buy phones today for like $100, and for like a prepaid phone, you could buy them for $100. And but for the average phone that people want, it's like at least $600, $700. You know, that's today's time. But with these phones, they're typically like, you're able to typically buy a really nice one outright for probably about the same price, like $500 back then. Yeah, analog, really. Yeah, I remember the analog cell phones. Yeah. Telling you. Alright, well, I hope you liked this video from September 1997. And then of course I have a bunch of other ones. I have a shitload of these things. If you guys want to see any of these, anything particularly like from 2001 to 2022, I could show you it. All right. Okay, I'll see you on the next video.